थोड़े दिन पहले I was just scrolling Twitter और I was just going through all the tweets which I sort of from people I follow, and generally a lot of tweets do not hit sort of the kind of bandwidth I sort of put on Twitter, that they do not integrate well with me. The simple reason is that storms like Naval does, right? Or tweet sort of tweet after tweet after tweet, like uh, a tweet thread kind of a thing, right? Integrates very well with me, because then you understand each and everything, and then get to know that if that person who has sort of put that tweet out is thinking from that entire piece or not, like if he's thinking through that entire the from entire perspective or entire point of view as well. So generally what happens is that कभी कभी बस एक लाइन के ट्वीट आते हैं, एंड देर आर वेरी रेयर ट्वीट्स which I find intriguing, which are one line, right? Most of the tweets which are one line, I'm able to defy the logic, or I'm able to break the logic by just looking that thing from a different perspective. और उसमें होता क्या है, most of the single line tweets which stand out are mostly questions, and questions like, so the very interesting tweet which I was looking at, Kunal Shah ne, founder of Cred, basically he posted a question saying ki how would you sort of calculate your per hour costs, right? I'll precisely read what the tweet says. So he says, how can someone calculate value of 1 hour of their time in the best possible way? Serious responses only, please, right? So this sort of triggered me to think about how do we sort of think of our time, right? And what's the sort of core objective that person is trying to solve, right? If let's say the objective is to sort of be at peace, right, then the way to approach this problem becomes very different from how you would approach it in different cases, right? So the first thing which you have to sort of accept in this solution is that it's also dependent on people who want to sort of measure the value of their time, and it depends on different types of people. If let's say अगर किसी को महात्मा बनना है, ठीक है, संत बनना है, बैठना है पहाड़ों पे जाके, ठीक है, then probably, right, I'm not too sure about it, and whatever I say I'm going to make a lot of mistakes for sure, ठीक है. I'm just thinking through कि मुझे क्या लगता है, ठीक है, अगर कोई परमात्मा ऐसे संत बनना चाहता है, ठीक है, मतलब वो ऐसे बस भगवान की चरणों में जाना चाहता है, ठीक है, एज पीपल से, राइट? सो उस केस में द वैल्यू ऑफ देयर टाइम इज सॉर्ट ऑफ यू नो मतलब I would attribute it as the most precious according to them, right? Because they would feel ki every time we are doing something else, they would not sort of attribute time to money. The value of time then changes into a different currency, which is peace, right? And this gets interesting because currency or value of time which gets ascribed. So for example कि so जैसे मान लो कुणाल शाह ने लिखा कि हाउ कैन यू कैलकुलेट वैल्यू ऑफ 1 hour, राइट? First thing we would have to understand is that it is different for different people, and the currency is different for different people, right? Time is equals to money, but कभी किसी ने सोच के देखा कि time is also equals to currencies, right? Currencies such as peace, currencies such as happiness, currencies such as relaxation, currencies such as dopamine, right? And someone might just measure time as basis of dopamine hits, right? As basis of कि कितना dopamine release हो रहा है, उसके लिए वो currency हो सकती है, and वो फिर बिल्कुल approach ही अलग बनेगी, right? But let's just sort of attribute this to how someone would think if they want to particularly ascribe a value based on money, right? Because most of you who have come to this video is because you want to know the answer to that. तो अब होता क्या है, when you think of that value in terms of money, um the short answer is that there is no answer, right? The long answer of how there is no answer to this is कि देखो, the value of anything, right, the value of um, any sort of asset, right, which you own, right, is only till the point you are sort of available, right? मतलब once you're dead, there is no value of that particular thing, right? Now the sort of time you spend on earth, right, basically आप जब तक इस जिंदगी में रह रहे हो, उतने उतना टाइम यू वुड नेवर नो, राइट? उतना टाइम एग्जैक्टली इन सॉर्ट ऑफ कंसोलिडेशन यू वुड नेवर नो. मतलब लेट्स से इफ समवन, मतलब एक एग्जांपल के लिए मान लेते हैं कि 365 डेज रहता है, ठीक है. अब यू हैव टू ऑल्सो सी कि वो कौन सी एज में 365 डेज के लिए रह रहा है, राइट. इट्स वेरी डिफरेंट एंड इट्स वेरी कंटेक्चुअल फॉर ईच पर्सन. सो वन part of the equation is that you have to understand who it is coming from. Second part of the equation is what is their currency. Third part of the equation is कि वो अगर अगर कुछ टाइम की वैल्यू अस्क्राइब करना चाहता है, विच टाइम पीरियड दे आर बॉर्न इन, राइट. फोर्थ इज नाउ लिंकिंग टू दैट, जिस टाइम पीरियड में वो पैदा हुए हैं. अगर वो 2 साल का बच्चा है, द टाइम वैल्यू इज लिटरली जीरो, राइट. देर इज नो टाइम वैल्यू 0 to 2 years में. बट इफ दैट पर्सन इज सॉर्ट ऑफ 18 एंड देन दे स्टार्ट अर्निंग समथिंग एंड दे डू नॉट नो कि कितने साल तक रहने वाले हैं, और मान लेते हैं अगर उसको पता है कितने साल तक रहने वाला है, वो 2 साल और रहने वाला है, देन ही कैन ascribe his times value basis the x point till where he is going to live till, और बेसिकली पूरा एवरेज आउट करके, राइट. एंड एट सम सेंस वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड कि जितना भी आपके पास्ट में एक्सपीरियंसेस हुए हैं, यू हैव ग्रोन फ्रॉम दैट, राइट. एंड नाउ द वैल्यू ऑफ टाइम यू विल ascribe is basis current value of time, current value which you have, right. Current value of time, which you ascribe. अब the another angle is कि most of the people don't think about the future value, and future value of time especially is dependent on how well you execute things, how well you plan things, how clearly you think. And there are multiple factors in that as well. And how self start how good a self starter you are, how easily you can think through the problems, and how well the problems you are thinking through have. इफ लेट्स से आप किसी प्रॉब्लम के बारे में सोच रहे हो जिसमें मार्केट ही नहीं है, राइट. यू हैव टू फर्स्ट बी अ क्लियर थिंकर एंड देन बी एग्जीक्यूशनर इन दैट पर्टिकुलर प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट एज वेल, टू गेट टू एन अपॉर्चुनिटी वेयर, मतलब आपके टाइम की वैल्यू ऑलमोस्ट इज unimaginable for yourself, right. Now the only objective of this video is to understand ki how can someone understand the value of time इन मनी, ठीक है, इन पर्टिकुलर मनी करेंसी, राइट. मतलब कि डॉलर्स, INR, एटसेट्रा एटसेट्रा. अगर मैं अपने टाइम की वैल्यू डिस्क्राइब कर रहा हूँ, सो अगेन आई वुड ऐड दैट पीस टू द इक्वेशन कि आई वुड ऑल्सो थिंक ऑफ द फ्यूचर वैल्यू. आई वुड ऑल्सो थिंक कि मैं 2 साल के लिए अगर जिंदा रहने वाला हूँ, तो मैं उस टाइम में कितना कमाने वाला हूँ. देन आई वुड टेक द करंट वैल्यू विच आई हैव, the future value of that particular 1 year which I'm going to have, and the future value of another 1 year that I'm going to have, and I'll continue to add those values until the point where I'm going to live, right. And the surprising fact is कि no one knows the time they are going to live on this planet, right. And so I don't think that there is a very solid way to ascribe or attribute the value of time in INR or in dollars, right? So we do not know till the time we are going to live on this planet, and so we do not have a clear answer to कि हम future value कितनी ले, and we do not have a clear answer on the metrics we should understand कि हमको कितना future में मिल सकता है, and are we solving the right problem or not? Are we going in the right direction or not? Am I a good executioner or not? Am I thinking through clearly or not? Right? All of these things to a point sort of become matlab it's a good thought, right. It's a good thought, but then ascribing a value of your time today mostly happens on the current paycheck or the current sort of earnings you have. It's mostly not calculated in terms of future value, and if it's happening, it's mostly wrong, right. So for example, it could be well seen by the companies which are built out, right. So one example which comes to me is कि Yahoo ने मार्क क्यूबन की कोई कंपनी खरीदी थी, and they ascribed a higher valuation to that in terms of future value. They were not right, right. They were abruptly wrong, right. Now जब वो चीज हुई, तो how do we know कि मार्क क्यूबन की जो ascribed value थी वो उन्होंने मैच नहीं की, right. So how does anyone understand कि future में वो चीज चलेगी या नहीं चलेगी, and you are going in the right direction or not? So the best answer to this question is that I don't know, right. I was just exploring this thought and I had great fun doing that. Thank you, Kunal Shah, if you're watching this video. I'm sure you would not be watching this video, but if you are, thanks a lot for this thought. And I appreciate the kind of tweets you post, and most of them are intriguing. If I find anything else from your Twitter feed which is interesting, and I'm gonna do a lot of these videos because I know that these are things which interest me, and I'm going to go on Twitter channels of mostly people whose voices are sort of dominant in art, geography, and then sort of explore what they have to offer, and analyze if their ideas are BS or great, right? And I would give my honest opinions on that. So this was today's exploration. तो भाइयों, ये तो हो गई आज की बात, ठीक है? और अगर आपको ये वीडियो अच्छा लगा हो तो प्लीज इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब मत करना, मैं फिर से कह रहा हूँ मत करना। 2-4 वीडियोस और देख लो, थोड़ी सैंपल साइज और कलेक्ट कर लो, और उसके बाद डिसाइड फॉर योरसेल्फ इफ यू वांट टू सब्सक्राइब और नॉट। बिकॉज व्हाट हैपेंस इज, अगर तुम एक वीडियो देख के सब्सक्राइब कर लोगे तो बाकी वीडियोस तुमको नहीं अच्छे लगेंगे, तो देन देयर इज नो सेंस, तुम वापस आके अनसब्सक्राइब करोगे। इससे बेटर ये है कि पहले जाके 3-4 वीडियोस देख लो, उसके बाद डिसाइड करो कि आपको अच्छा लग रहा है नहीं, एंड देन आई विल सॉर्ट ऑफ ब्लेस योर फीड विद ऑल दी थॉट एक्सप्लोरेशंस आई गो इनटू, ठीक है? यहीं पे कार्यक्रम समाप्त करते हैं। थैंक्स लॉट, बाय।